Hello guys, what's up? My name is Hollow, and it's been a minute. It's been like 2 weeks since I posted a video, and I'm sorry about that, and I will explain why that is a little later. But before that, I want to actually talk about the video and walk you through this because this is a different format than usual. Usually I would be playing like the actual game right now, and you would be in game with me seeing what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I'd be talking about it as I'm doing it. But for this video, I'm going to be doing it as a voiceover instead. So I'm just putting in a time lapse of the full 2 hours I spent playing this. And yes, that is 2 hours for 1 week of gameplay, and not even a full week because it was just Saturday to Friday. I didn't even play Saturday and Sunday, so it's a bit much. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is I'm actually restarting this save. I've done that like 3 times already because as I did the different versions of the save I like restarted it every time, but for this one I restarted again. So we're redoing part 1. As you can probably tell from the title, I probably put something like part 1 take 2 or something like that in the title. I'm redoing it because there was an issue I had last time where she wouldn't grade up. She was in promotion zone for a full day. From the end of the last day to the end of the next day, she was in promotion zone, but she didn't promote. She didn't get to grade B. So one of my friends told me that she'd heard something about if you have that problem, you have to send the kids back to high school normally. So outside of the pack. So you would just like, you wouldn't follow them to high school basically. So you just play it like you normally had high school before this pack, right? I wanted to like run it one more time just to see if maybe it changed because they did do a patch and like I didn't see anything about my issue in the patch notes, but I thought maybe something else they fixed may have fixed it, but no, it didn't happen. So that is what I ended up having to do. Is I spend 3 days in this building up her skill to get her to promotion zone. And then the 4th day, I have to send her to school alone. I don't get to go with her because that's the only way she would actually grade up, which she did. And so she was a B student on Friday. And that was sort of where I ended it, just because like it has already been 2 hours. I have other stuff to do. I'm really busy right now, which is one of the reasons that I haven't posted anything. But yeah, so I'm just really busy. I've got work tomorrow and it's already like 11 o'clock right now. And I wake up at like 6 a.m. So I'm already kind of pushing it for this video. So there was no way I was going to go past the 2 hours I already did. But yeah, basically the reason I wanted to do this as a time lapse, so there's 2 real reasons. The first reason is just because this gameplay is so dry. There is nothing to it. The only way you're going to have fun with this pack is if you put your own story element into that. But because I'm specifically doing this as more like a speed run sort of thing, just trying to figure out how long it takes to become valedictorian, I'm not actually playing like a storyline. So I'm not actually investing in my character. I'm just going through trying to get through school as fast as possible. So it's not really fun to play because there's nothing to high school. You show up, you follow a couple little tasks, you get a lot of glitches, that's it. So yeah, it's just really boring. And like I tried to do the couple videos for you guys that way, like my normal way where I would play along, but it was so difficult to commentate on, and it just got so boring to actually play it. I don't know, it was just too much of a struggle for me, and so I just wasn't gonna do it. But also I wanted to actually put this in as a full time lapse where I didn't edit any of my footage. So this full time lapse that you're seeing is the full 2 hours I played. There's nothing cut from it. I didn't edit the footage. I just put in the full 2 hours and time lapsed it because I wanted you guys to see how stuttery my game was. Like literally just now, what I just saw it play, like the turn where I was just turning the camera a little bit, you saw how much it stuttered there. This is 600 times speed up. Okay, so you saw that stutter there. That full stutter took like a minute in actual time. So it's just like, that's how badly my game was running, which is like, it might be partially my fault, I have to admit. I can't fully blame it on The Sims. It might be my fault because I didn't update my mods before I started playing, which you probably already saw with the UI up in the corner. It was all purple and stuff because I haven't updated my UI cheats. But Yeah, it's so messed up. There was just so many issues, and I can't fully say that it's the game's fault, but I feel like it is. Like, I don't feel like updating my mods is gonna stop me from having that many problems. But you know, I'll stop at that. But anyways, I also just wanted to really quickly go through some of the issues I had, because I'm not going to be able to like point them out as the video's going and stuff like that. Basically, I'm just going to recap the things that I noticed while I was playing during these 2 hours. So the first thing I noticed was all the lag, all the freezing, just all the issues I was having with my camera, stuff like that. The second one is that I complained in the other videos that they're not sitting at the desk properly. Like when you tell them to do something on the computer, they cancel it for you. But if you click on the chair and tell them to sit down and then tell them to do something on the computer, they'll do it. So they're still doing that, but like it's not with everything, because like at the school, if you just click on the school's computers, they'll just go and sit down and do it. But at home with the gaming chairs that come with the pack, they can't sit down. So yeah, that's an issue. The other thing is Ash, the character from the trailer, when you first move in, she's supposed to call you and offer to give you information about Copperdale, right? And if you say yes, I would assume that you would get more information, right? Because she says that she's going to call you back and tell you more stuff about Copperdale. Sorry about my phone, I forgot to mute it. She says she's going to tell you more stuff about Copperdale, but then she never actually does. She never calls back. So I never got any more calls or texts from her. So I never learned anything else. And that's not specific to this playthrough. That's been every time I've started to save. And I've started to save like 4 different times. And every single time I've gotten I've gotten the first call from her, but never anything after. And by the way, the first call always goes to my child little brother, which makes no sense. Like, there's an adult and 2 teens in the house, so why are you calling the child? It doesn't make any sense. Especially when it's a high school pack and it's supposed to be teen centered. Why are you talking to the child? I don't know. It's weird. But another issue that I noticed, like not only in this playthrough, but also in just like my own free time, I took some time to just play Sims just on my own, where I could actually try to play a story that I enjoyed. But like I just didn't have the time to record it and edit it and all that stuff. So that's why I didn't make videos on it. But it was just stuff for me to play in the free time, just to like, so I could still try to enjoy Sims, even though this pack is super annoying. But yeah, I was playing that, and I noticed it first in that, and I've noticed it a little bit in this gameplay, not as much, but a little bit. Whenever they go to the bathroom, they go to a different bathroom to wash their hands. So like they'll go to the bathroom on one floor and then literally walk up to another floor to wash their hands. And it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? That was the thing that I kept noticing, like in my other playthrough, just on my own, it happened every single time they went to the bathroom. This time it wasn't so much. I think I only saw it like 2 or 3 times, but still, it shouldn't be happening like at all. That's a horrible routing issue. Like that takes so much of your game time away, and I don't know. I really hate it. Another thing is they keep doing stupid things. Like they keep like ignoring what I'm telling them to do and go do other things, which I mean, again, it's pretty typical for Sims 4. They do that a lot, but it's just it seemed really excessive in this. Especially there were some points where she was supposed to be like, one time in specific, she was supposed to be going to study for an exam and she just wouldn't do it. Every time I told her to do it, she said that she couldn't reach it and she would queue up something else to do instead. And so I kept walking her closer and closer to the bookshelf, and she still kept saying she couldn't reach it. And every time she would like instantly say she couldn't reach it, and then she would try to queue up something else. And it wasn't until I stood her literally directly in front of the bookshelf that she was finally like, oh, I can reach it, and then grabbed it and started studying. And I mean, by that point she'd wasted all her time, so she only had like 5 minutes to study anyways, but you know, it is what it is. So that was the thing. I don't know what's up with that, but it was just like a lot of stuff like that where you tell them to do something, they'd cancel it, and then they'd queue up something else like immediately. And she was late for class a couple times because she kept doing that. Like I queued up for her to talk to somebody, and then the game would freeze or skip or whatever, and then it would be like 5 minutes before class was supposed to start. She'd cancel out the interaction I had given her like 40 minutes ago in game, and then she queued up like 3 other things, and then she was supposed to be going to class, but she had all those things in her queue, so obviously she was trying to go do those things instead of go to class. So it was a mess. I had to regulate her very severely to make her actually do what she was supposed to do, which was really annoying. Also, she did the same thing as last episode, where she just tried to leave her exam to do something useless. Like she was literally in the middle of her exam and she just canceled everything, stood up, and said she wanted to go wash her hands. Like, really? Like, you're taking your exam. Take your exam. And it doesn't happen in their normal classes. It only happens on Fridays during exams, which is so weird. Another thing is she kept getting almost every morning when she woke up, she got a moodlet, an uncomfortable moodlet, saying that her bed was cheap. And I just don't get that. Because like it's not, I get if you want to make cheap beds that actually look like cheap beds, but this is one of the new beds from the pack where it's like the really cute boho one. So why is it a cheap bed? I just feel like that doesn't make sense for the design of the bed. Like, if you're going to make furniture cheap, it should look like cheap furniture, you know? It shouldn't look like it's a nice piece of furniture and then feel like it's cheap, you know? I don't really like that. So I feel like that needs to be tuned a little bit. So she keeps getting... One thing, it's sort of like a positive and a negative, is it seems like they worked on the exams a little bit, because she can actually, like, she can study for exams multiple times a week now. In fact, multiple times a day, which is better, because like before you could only study like once a week, and it didn't make any sense, because who studies like once a week and then never touches a book again? If you're really serious about studying for an exam, it just doesn't make sense. But so that's the thing, they fixed that so you can actually study for the exam multiple times, which is great. But the weird thing about they also made it shorter. So like before, she was trying to do the exam and like study for the exam, and she started at the very beginning of her lunch break, and it took her through her entire second class, like through the entire like 3-hour lunch break and through her second class. But this time she finished it before her lunch ended, so that was good. They fixed that timing issue, which is good. But the thing that's kind of annoying is now, because you can study for exams multiple times, it shows up multiple times in your in the UI for the school day. So like in the morning when you get to school, it'll be like, oh, study for exams. Then you study for your exam, you go to class, whatever. Lunch break comes and it says, oh, study for your exams. And it's like, I just did that. Like, well, can't you give me something else? Isn't there anything else to do in this school? And it's like, no, there really isn't. Which is kind of sad. But yeah, so that was kind of annoying. But that was the other sort of negative thing. The other thing that I have isn't really negative. It's just she got acne for the first time, which I hadn't seen yet. It was like, I don't know, it happened. There was nothing really super interesting about it. Personally, I don't like playing with acne. I don't like playing with stuff like that. So I wasn't particularly happy about it. But I mean, it was fine. Like, it didn't cause any really issues. She woke up in the middle of the night to freak out about it. But I mean, they do that for body hair too, which is just an overall issue they need to fix. But, you know, I'm not going to ask for things that are never going to happen, you know. But there's that. And then that's pretty much everything. The only, the biggest problem and the most important thing is it took her so long to grade up. And I think I already mentioned this, but it took her 3 days to get to promotion zone. 3 days. Like, when I played the 100 baby challenge, it took me 3 days to get a kid through high school. They would go from a C to an A and be ready to age up in 3 days. And it took her 3 days just to get from C to B. Just to get from C to the ability to get to B. She wasn't even at B yet because she had to stay home the next day. Or, I mean, not stay home. She had to go to school by herself the next day to be able to promote. So it was so dumb. It's really dumb. It takes so much longer. And I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal because, like, for gameplay, maybe it's a little more realistic. Because, like, if you're actually taking the time to play through high school, maybe it's a little more realistic for it to take a couple days rather than to be able to knock it out in 1 or 2 like you can, like I used to be able to do the other way. But I don't know. It's just like, because I'm trying to speedrun this, it's really annoying, you know? But, like, I don't think it would actually bother me in game, like when I was actually playing in game, because I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, it takes a couple days to get your grades up. No big deal. But because I'm trying to speedrun it, it's like so infuriating because I know I could speedrun it if I did it the other way and it'd go so much faster. But, you know, it's whatever. But anyways, that's the basics of this whole playthrough. That's everything I sort of dealt with. But now I just want to quickly go over why I haven't been here for the past 2 weeks. So it's just because I got really busy all of a sudden. Like, just a bunch of things happened all at once. Well, technically a bunch of them started a while back, but they just all sort of compiled together these past 2 weeks. So the first thing was I got a new job. The second thing was my basement flooded. And the third thing was I got a new dog, right? So all those things I've mentioned previously. I've mentioned those in my past couple of videos. So you guys have like heard those happen over the past few weeks, like month even. But it just all sort of piled up at once these past couple weeks, because with my job, I'm finally settling in. So I'm just like, I'm settling in and I know what I'm doing and I'm getting excited for it because I actually really genuinely enjoy my job right now. So I'm in that like newbie phase where I'm like really excited about my job. So I want to put in like 110%, right? And so like when I get home from work, I'm still thinking about work. I'm still doing stuff for work. I'm like researching and looking stuff up, and like part of my job is teaching. So I'm looking up things that I want to teach to my students, and like stuff that I want to show them, like techniques I want to show them, what projects we could do, stuff like that. So I'm just like, I spend like an extra hour or two when I get home still doing work. And so it's just, that was a big thing. My basement flooding, I sort of mentioned that, and we're still trying to clean it up because it just like we have a carpeted basement, so our carpets are just like a mess. So we're still trying to clean them out and make sure that they're okay, because we're for whatever reason my parents don't want to replace the carpet, which I'm pretty sure I know the reason is because it's expensive, but I mean it's just, yeah, it's a lot to do. So we're trying to figure that out. Plus like some of our baseboards are getting a little moldy, so we have to like pull off the baseboards and clean the wall, and just big mess. And then my dog is like a year old and never been trained. So we're dealing with potty training, we're dealing with like house training, we're teaching him just like regular commands and stuff. So he's just a mess right now. So, like, we have to constantly clean up his mess. I have to constantly watch him because he's just so rambunctious and he wants to play all the time. But he's like a 70, 80-pound dog, right? And I mean, my other dog is also like 70 pounds, so it's not that big of a deal for him. But for my cat's practically a kitten. She's like 4 to 5 months old, right? So she weighs 4 pounds. So this like 70, 80-pound dog is trying to play with this little 4-pound kitten. And like they get along well and they want to play with each other, but he doesn't know how to control himself. So it's just like this 80-pound fur ball hurling himself at this tiny little kitten. So it's just, I have to watch them constantly when they're together to make sure that he doesn't hurt her. So like I have to put a lot of vigilance into that as well. So it's just like all that stuff sort of compiled at once. Plus there are 2 other new things that you guys haven't heard about yet. So the first one is a really exciting, well, actually they're both really exciting, but the first one's more exciting because my middle brother and his wife had their second son last month. So I have my second nephew now. He was just born, so he is coming up on a month next week. He'll be a month old. But yeah, so he is, like, I've just been fangirling about my nephew basically for the past couple of weeks. So like looking at all the pictures and everything, because I can't see them, unfortunately. They live like 8 hours away, and like since I just got my new job, I can't take vacation right now. So it's just, yeah, so I can't go and see them. So I'm just like looking at all the pictures and just wishing I was there and stuff like that. But there's that. And then the other really exciting thing is that my other brother, my oldest brother, is he makes music, and he wants to start actually releasing music as a producer, right? And so he asked me to make his logo for him, which is really exciting and really cool and everything. But I'm an illustrator, not a graphic designer. Like, I don't really do logos. Like, I made my own logo for my illustration stuff, but I don't think it's very good. But anyways, like, it's just not really my thing. So that's been really hard for me. And it's something that takes a long time. So just all that stuff piled up together, it's just been taking a lot of my time. So it was just hard for me to get around to it. But yeah, I'm going to try to get back on top of it. I'm going to try to get stuff out and try to keep up with this so that you guys get to see everything. But yeah, that's pretty much how things are. This pack is just sort of really disappointing to me. Just the more I play it, the more disappointed I am with it. But I'm going to keep going through it because I think there are some cool elements to it. I just think it wasn't executed properly. But anyways, we'll keep going. We'll see how long it takes us to become valedictorian. I'm guessing it'll probably need like one more episode. And I'll probably do it the same way as this one, where it's sort of just a time lapse and then me voiceovering it. Because like, again, just trying to comment on something that's so boring is just no fun for anybody, I don't think. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut all that and just sort of probably do another voiceover like this. And then I'll probably, like, if you guys are interested, I might do like a prom video or like a video on the sports teams or something. but I'm not really that interested in it. So, unless you guys specifically ask for it, I probably won't do it. I know I mentioned doing it before, but I probably won't do it unless you guys specifically want it, because it's just, this pack is just so disappointing to me. But anyways, so this will like, once I figure out the valedictorian thing, that'll probably be the last of my high school year stuff unless you guys ask for more. But yeah, just let me know what you guys are thinking. If you want to see that stuff, I'll gladly look into it for you. But you know, that's pretty much where I'm at for this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I am sorry that it's a little bit of a different format. I hope it's not too weird. And I hope I didn't ramble too much. I know I sort of get that way. Plus my brain's been all over the place this whole time. Like the past couple weeks, my brain has been just everywhere. So not sure how coherent I've been. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!